Welcome.
Hello and welcome to OzLoL Podcast, episode 87. My name is Caraclossus. I am host of the show, and I'm joined by two excellent, terrific gentlemen who are very well dressed. Well, at least one of them is very well dressed. That would be Victor Predley. Oh, hang on, wait a sec. It's playing noise in the background. I had that with the Battle Arena. Stop doing that, Twitch. You're painful. Anyway, so getting back to on task.
Classy.
Looking very gentlemanly up in the top right, we have Victor Predley.
I'm very classy this evening.
Yep.
I've brought myself a fine Shiraz. Abundance of spice and red berries.
You're lying, it's grape juice, isn't it?
I smell a little bit of licorice in this one as well.
I smell a little bit of bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much, that's it. That's pretty much the title of our show, really. It's what we should call ourselves in general.
That's going to be like all of our iTunes reviews.
Yeah. An extra special touch of bullshit this week. And that was the dulcet tones of Stephen Garstone.
Good to be back.
All right. Now, we, of course, we should say Scott. I actually don't know where Scott is right now. He's lost in the wilderness or something. Maybe.
Oh, he messaged me yesterday. His internet's still terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
And pepperonis.
Yeah. Alright. So,
Who are we?
we are the OzLoL Podcast. We are live on Twitch from 7 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. And we will not be on this time slot next week. We're going to talk about the OPL schedule. It starts next week, and it is Mondays and Thursdays. So the show will be moving once again to Wednesdays. And Battle Arena will be on hold until the end of this split. So, so make sure you tune in 7 PM on Wednesday, next Wednesday. Because if you tune in on Monday, you won't find us, but you couldn't go watch the APL, which is what we'll be doing.
And you should.
Yes, in fact, you should. We encourage you to do that. Now, we should also let you know that the Riot Light and Ghost Crawler episode of the Trinity Force proper is up on YouTube. So you go to youtube.com/TForce Podcast. You can get all of our VODs, but in particular, you should check that one out. I haven't actually had a chance to listen to it myself yet. So I'm looking forward to, because I listen to the podcast version, which comes out later in the week.
I do too, because normally I do like some weird intro or something, and I'm hoping that maybe they put another one up. Because I made a few of them.
Yep.
But
you did.
LCS Rundown haven't used the one I made for him yet, and neither has Four Wars.
What
is
jerks?
this? What jerks? The OzLoL Podcast used my one. I was very
Yep.
shocked to hear that.
I was impressed. I was impressed with the. Yeah, you should do a beatboxing version. That'd be funny. Just how lame it is.
Hey.
So that's, I mean, in terms of show news, so Battle Arena is not going to be on Thursday. It will be this Thursday. This Thursday will be the last one for probably about 3 months. Because once you add in all the finals and whatnot, it's, basically 3 months. So,
I'll still run maybe community games on like Fridays or whatever if I'm on. Just jump in the in-game chat channel OzLoL, and I'm probably gonna hang around and invite people. I got friends, maybe. Steve
I don't know
won't be
friends.
there. He doesn't play video games.
Maybe got friends.
I might have friends. I'm sure Rubus Chaos might be around. He likes playing battle arenas. Oh, just bring him in. Me and him. Just me and Rubus Chaos. Shout outs to Rubus Chaos. What's next?
Okay. Sure. That's it for show news. I think there's nothing really much else that's going on. And I'm really tired, and so I can't be bothered saying anything else in show news. Let's talk about the OPL, because the OPL is exciting. So, OPL Split 2 starts next Monday. First game being Sin Gaming versus Chiefs, followed by AV versus Team Immunity, Sunfear versus Legacy, and Absolute Gaming versus Direwolves. That's the Monday. The Thursday is Sudden Fear versus Absolute, Legacy and Direwolves, Sin Gaming and Team Immunity, and Avant-Garde versus Chiefs. Pretty exciting stuff. What do you guys... Hey, as the manager of Team Immunity, Steve, how are you feeling about this split?
Which is actually correct now, whereas when you said it about a month ago, it was incorrect.
Yeah.
No, I am manager of Team Immunity again, whereas previously I was analyst, before that I was manager. Now that I'm back, I'm manager. I'm really looking forward to the Avant-Garde game. We're like really psyched about that. We're prepping a ton, and Carrot doesn't care to hear the rest of my answer, because he's left He's left the screen. Thank you.
I
no,
care.
You care. That's good. Good. Enjoying your nice cup of bullshit. No, it's.
I could blow my nose into the microphone. I'm sure that would make you feel honoured.
That would.
Big old raspberry sound.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Carrot's got a wireless headset. He can hear
Yes.
everything we're saying.
Yeah.
The
AKA Steve being a jerk towards me, but what's new?
I'm sorry. Which one of us got up and left in the middle of a conversation?
Hey, I was listening.
Yeah,
I was listening.
didn't know that.
I can't type on the Skype chat because it will interrupt like
Excuse
the
me,
video.
guys.
Anyway,
I'm just
let's
gonna
give
go
it.
blow my nose in the back room. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah. Let's just announce to the world. Thanks, Steve. Anyway, let's get away from our own personal drama and back into the game. So, I mean, IMAE is a pretty big game. So, how are you guys feeling about that matchup in particular?
We're actually feeling very confident going into it. We've undergone a couple of changes in support staff, and we've got obviously Uber Bros left, so we've got a new AD, and we've got a few things on the works. And yeah,
You guys haven't announced that yet, have you?
Good. Sorry?
You guys haven't announced that yet, have you? The new AD.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
No, we haven't.
Well, next week you'll have an announcement here on the OzLoL podcast.
That's
Yay!
right.
Also on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else. But hey, we'll just say it's an exclusive. You should wait till like 1 minute, like 1 second after you say it here to say it, so we have an exclusive.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll completely control the
Yeah.
when the news announcement goes out.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, any closing moments on the
Yeah.
OzLoL podcast? Well, yes, as a matter of fact, our new AD carry is.
Um.
It's Victor.
Yeah. So, what do you reckon about, like, I mean, this? Which are the big matches for this week? I mean, probably AV and Chiefs, and probably AV and Immunity. And Direwolves versus Legacy would probably be the three main games. I guess for me, the big question is, will they stomp hard this split as well?
Well, it's the first roster change that they've had in quite some time,
Yeah.
and that's like they've had a winning formula for the longest time.
Yep.
I don't expect that their performance will slip much. Everyone has their transition periods, but with only one person changing, the culture, the training, the everything that they're doing already will continue to go. It's not like this person carries the team, and that person gets removed. Like, you can tell Chiefs are very, very reliant on each other, and it's not always one person carrying the game. And yeah, so I think Chiefs will still do amazingly well.
And it's not like Egypt wasn't doing okay at Legacy anyway. I mean, he was one of the strongest performers on the team. So,
not putting any doubt on Ejim's mechanical prowess at all. No. We spoke very highly of him last season. We'll probably continue to this season.
Yeah.
Like,
but now he's on Chiefs, so I have even more of a reason to speak highly of him.
Fanboyism
No bias. Well, we need a bit of fanboyism. There's like almost zero fanboyism to be had, so I'm just doing my bit.
Yeah, I definitely like to see how Ejim meshes with the guys, because they were doing good before, and I'd like to see how Ejim's playstyle sort of slots in there, like if it works or if they have to make any changes in their bot lane's playstyle or whatever, see how it works. I mean, Ejim's pretty good at roaming around the map anyway. I'm sure they can leave that bot lane by itself. Who cares? But I'd like to see the new teams as well. I'd like to see where they're at, if they're 4-0 quality or they're middle of the pack quality.
Well, until they pick up Victor as their coach, can they really be considered quality? That's what I was going to say before. Like, you asked which of the big matches to keep an eye out for, and really the answer is all of them, because we haven't seen the new teams and how they stack up to the people who've already proven themselves. We've had a bunch of roster changes across the board with all the other teams. So, have all the teams? I might be making that up, but most of the top teams.
I think you are, but that's okay. We'll just ignore
it. Have been having some roster changes, so we all want to see how the new teams are going with their new roster swaps. We want to see how the brand new teams and how they're going to perform in the split. Like just every single game, I'm looking forward to. Apart from Avant versus Immunity, which I'm super psyched for and prepping like crazy for,
Yeah.
Then. I can't put one game above the rest. Like, it's just, I'm going to watch them all equally, just yeah, bring it on. I can't wait.
Yep. I mean, I think it would be interesting to see how Sudden Fear goes against Absolute, for example, because I mean, Sudden Fear had a pretty not the greatest start, but towards the end of the split they started to look pretty good. Well, certainly a lot better.
Well, we said the same thing about Fortnite, and they got relegated.
Well, yeah. I
The
guess you
numbers
did say
didn't
that
look much
Fortnite.
better. Massive
Sudden Fear looked.
increase that 1 week.
Yeah. I mean, Sudden Fear, I mean, they did better overall anyway. I mean, Fortnite, yeah. So, yeah, it'll be good to see what happens.
And everyone looked a bit better than Rich Gang in the end as well.
Yes. Well, thank God, because those guys. Oh, let us never speak of them again.
Like, they're internationally renowned. Like, they went viral for a while there. So I think there's not going to be a time where we can't bring Rich Gang up as a don't be a Rich Gang moment, you know?
Yeah.
Except people
They
still
had their
bring up
Svenskeren
Rich Gang,
moment.
Like, oh, well, what happened to Rich Gang? We miss Rich Gang. And I'm like, you didn't. You had no idea what they were like.
Well, they did have. Like, yeah. It's quite funny. They're like, oh, these funny dudes just made this video, and then, oh, 3 of them have been banned due to, completely
Sorry.
toxic behavior. Oh no,
Well, actually, it's Rich Gang, the elo boosting company now.
Oh.
Yeah.
which we in no way promote.
Yeah.
I don't want to have any tickets on my name. We done with.
Yeah, I think we're done with that.
We have some more.
I think that's pretty much for OCE news. Yeah, so let's get into patch 5.9. So there's actually...
Before we get into the patch, I just want to say that the university finals are on the weekend. And
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
I didn't get to catch them because I was too busy getting all the paperwork done by the deadline.
Yeah.
So if you guys got to see them at all, please fill me in.
I was actually away for the weekend, so yeah, I
Oh, that's right. Of course you were. You told me
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I was up in Perth and in like a even smaller town than I live in. So so we're driving around like maniacs.
No, I was smashing out the paperwork, but I saw all the Twitter notifications coming through. I'm just like, oh my god, that was amazing, and I'm just like, oh, but I want to watch. But I'm gonna get this done. It was such a conflict.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to patch notes. Then.
Okay. So do we really want to talk about attack move functionality? Because I personally don't use it. I imagine there would be people who...
I use it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a big deal. Like, if you're... It's basically like an area effect blast marker from 40k now. Like, if... like, previously, if you'd hold... I had to have shift right click, but a lot of people had like A left... like, they had different setups, like some are alt, and so I can't remember what the defaults are, but I use.
So I mean,
Shift. You hold shift, and it's permanently attack move. It replaces your regular move, and if you press A, it comes up like an ability with a little marker, and you can click on the thing you want to shoot, or the spot, and that will just attack move anyway.
Yeah,
that's the default.
I mean, we should say for the benefit of those who have no idea what we're talking about, attack move is essentially a particular way. Like it's like in the like in real time strategy, essentially. It has been up until now, you move until you get into range of something to attack, and then you attack it, and you attack the nearest thing that you come across. So the change they've made is now that it attacks the nearest thing to where you click your cursor.
Yeah.
Which I think's very good for the less mechanically skilled, AD players specifically, who of course they're going to be using the attack move. Function more than any other class. But if you, for example, if you're in the middle of a team fight and you right-click move in order to orb walk, as it's commonly known, basically to attack and then move away from the enemy to reposition based on their movement, and then attack them and then reposition. If you miss someone in the middle of that transition just because they moved or did a headbutt pulverize or something, then you've basically stuffed up an entire auto attack. But if you're using this new function, you will still attack them because they're the closest target to the way you clicked originally. So, or even if you don't attack that original target, you'll attack the next viable one in that spot. So I think it actually has a lot of potential for the people that aren't like 200 actions per minute pros. So I think this is actually worth talking about for a little bit.
Okay.
Because there is a bit of potential there, especially if you're kind of suck at last hitting, you can at least, like I know that I'm pretty damn good at last hitting with lay waste on Karthus, and this basically makes my auto attack a lay waste.
Yeah, okay.
Because I can click that area and whatever minion is closest to that. It will
Once you hit
automatically
level
attack.
2, it is your base. It is your auto attack anyway, because you get mana back. Yeah, I know Karthus. This
I mean,
in theory should
as a
make
support, I
very
never really,
favorable.
I don't do a whole lot of attacking anyway, so I guess that's why it's not much use for me. But yeah, I mean,
actually
obviously this
surprised
is the
you
biggest impact on marksman.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you don't use it on Leona with her, dash in, auto attack reset move. I just thought that might make that easier.
Really?
Yeah, okay.
I don't see it either.
I mean, you're basically standing next to the person, like when you Zenith Blade in anyway. So
That's true.
yeah, you just click once and then Q and then.
Well,
click again.
anytime I've Zenith Blade, I've pretty much put my mouse over them anyway at that point.
Yeah. Because I mean, you basically you're aiming like you're going to be. It's a skill shot anyway, so you basically have to point at them to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say I really use it a whole lot.
That's fair enough.
I
It's an option that's available to people out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's
And
not
when
like
when you
have
got relic shield, it's like you auto attack once every 60 seconds or once every 30 seconds. So it's like
way to carry
I'm
your
pretty
weight.
sure I can get this down to like a pretty like I don't think I need the attack move. Though I was playing with some higher level guys and which of course naturally freaked me out. This is in normal blind pick with Papa Smithy and some other guys. And I'm just freaking out about like missing CS because I'm like I don't want to look bad in front of these good players. And I missed a couple of cannon creeps. I'm just like, I'm an idiot.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shamed myself. They're probably like, yeah, whatever. And I'm just like,
Wow,
I'm
this
so bad.
This
Anyway.
makes my jungling pretty top notch.
Hey, I had some pretty good Leona snipes with my ultimate, which is always the best fun. All right, was there anything else you want to? Either of you guys want to add to the attack move thing?
No. I just wanted to bring it up because it could be useful.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
'Cause even though
good.
it's
I'd have to test it because I'm not sure, but because like when I chase people in the bushes, the thing I'm always worried about is them running out the other end and me running into the bush and keep going and look like a real idiot. And I'm like, oh no, they've run that way and I got to go back that way again, and it's really annoying. And then they do it to me again. I'm like, oh no, they keep doing it. So I
a bit
always
Benny
attack
Hill.
move. I always attack move into a bush. But the thing that really annoys me is that I've gone to attack move into a bush, but there's this like stray minion following me or something.
Yeah.
And so rather than walking into the bush, I've turned around and started shooting the minion, and they've just kept going. No. So I'd have.
It could be okay if you're Callisto.
I'd be interested. I guess I'd be interested to
Not if you
know.
don't realize you haven't done it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know if I keep walking into the bush or I would just turn around again and shoot the minion because I can't see them.
Now we've got the Benny Hill, as you're running backward and forward from the brush.
You see,
No,
my mind
I relate
is
it. I relate it more to that Scooby-Doo hallway thing where like everyone runs into the one door and like they come
Yeah,
running
yeah.
out the other one, and then Scooby's carrying Shaggy down the back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the monster's carrying Fred or something, and they're trying to run away from the monster, and they're like, oh no, the monster's right here.
Yep.
See, I got like a 1950s comic book version of Victor chasing like a girl Pepe Le Pew style into a brush, and then running out of the brush and running away. That was where my mind went with that one.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, anyway, we're having a very
Let's
off-topic
talk about
night
some
tonight.
real patch notes.
Yep. Ash. So Ash has had a rework, a minor rework. So her, I mean, the main thing is essentially they've changed how what her passive is, and therefore changed her other abilities to work around that. So her new passive, previously it was if you didn't auto attack, you built up critical chance, and
You built up critical chance.
yeah,
You could auto. Yeah.
yep.
You would auto until, or you could just wait until 100% crit, and then you would guarantee crit.
Yeah. So basically,
Keep attacking, and if you didn't crit, it would continue to go up as if you hadn't. Yeah.
And the best and the only use for it was coming to lane, starting volley, and doing a big chunk of damage on
Yeah.
someone at level 1.
that was
Yeah.
it.
Never really used it,
And
ever again.
it did tremendous damage to the support community, where people are like, okay, so it's only good if you're not attacking things. Maybe I should run support Ash. She's got like that vision thing, and she can initiate. Yeah, let's do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's changed now. So, I mean, they've changed like her basic attack missile speed, which I don't see as a thing because it's not like you could dodge an auto attack anyway. So it doesn't really matter if it's slow or fast. But anyway,
like.
Well,
visual.
one thing it does do. Think like my Tarek going and stunning someone, and there's this orb traveling at like 2 centimeters per hour.
Oh yeah, I
And
guess
this
so.
thing's traveling. Like that gives them enough time to sort of run into an ally shield or something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
Like that's
Alright.
really what it helps. If, like a missile speed going up or down. That's
Hmm.
really the only thing it affects.
So it's gone up from 2,000 to 2,500. Her attack speed growth has been reduced, and her critical damage multiplier has been reduced. But her new passive is so previously it was build up critical chance. Now it's spells and base attacks slow targets by between 5 and 35% for 2 seconds. Basic attacks always critically strike targets slowed by frost shot for additional damage, but Ash cannot crit normally. Bonus damage is increased by critical strike items. So, yeah.
This just weirds me the hell out.
Yeah.
Complicated mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, like it's no, like it used to. Like the whole thing on Ash was you would always get an Infinity Edge and attack speed. Like that's always been her thing. But now it's a bit weird because no matter what, your Infinity Edge isn't going to count for that first attack. Like you've got to get the frost shot on there first, or you got to get the what's it called?
Volley will still proc frost shot. So
Yeah.
if you engage with volley, if you don't hit first with volley, the only thing it really would affect. Well, obviously you're not going to get the crit on the first shot, but you're also not going to get the bonus crit damage from a shiv. Like so, that's not going to crit.
That was actually going to be my next point. Like, do you buy a shiv anymore? Like,
Yeah,
why
except-
would you buy it? Because you crit automatically, or you don't crit at all. So why would you buy crit chance items?
Well,
Like,
because it's basically
going-
it gives you it's from what I understand, it essentially gives you bonus damage on your second attack onwards, and that's modified and it's increased with a critical strike. So instead of increasing your chance of crit, it essentially increases your bonus damage beyond the first shot, or well, beyond the application of frost shot.
With zero crit chance, she's dealing 110% or something like that as bonus damage, and then you boil more and more crit chance.
She's
and
doing
it goes
10%. She's doing 10% more damage than anyone else critting, if I'm reading that correctly.
No,
not
okay.
more than anyone else. Like it's just increased by. If you jump in the game and you hover over it, it says your next attack will deal 110% damage, extra damage, and that is counted as a critical strike. When you build more critical strike, when you build more crit chance, it starts going up more and more damage. So crit chance equals more damage, not crit chance.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
So basically, critical strike gives her bonus damage to all her abilities. Which is cool.
I think the damage, the crit chance damage multiplier that is on the Infinity Edge, I think that also increases some damage in there. Ash, stop being so complicated now. Go back to
It is, yeah. It's a little bit complicated.
character.
But it basically just means that you just do bonus damage on all your abilities, which is fine. And critical strike helps with that. So, I mean, nickname my... In chat has put the formula. If you just go to the wiki, it's got the formula. I'm tired, so I can't... It's all double Dutch to me. But
completely upfront with everyone listening. I only got to read the patch notes about 10 minutes before we went live tonight. I've been really busy with the start of the OPL season. So if I don't fully understand something in this patch, please give me that one leniency this one time.
no mercy.
No mercy.
No, just kidding.
I
mean, it's. I mean, I guess it just increases. I suppose it just increases her DPS generally. Like, this is a relatively. Like, I mean, not having played her, I guess it seems from my perspective that essentially, she kind of doubly benefits from something like an Infinity Edge because it gives her 80 attack damage, but then it also, the critical strike translates into increased damage on all her abilities. So, it's, I guess maybe in a way she's kind of a bit like the old Bloodthirster style carry where it's not attack speed you're building, it's almost like raw damage, but you kind of build damage through crit and through AD at the same time.
It's very strange. I'm gonna leave comment on Ash until I've seen enough people play her and kind of get the gist of it, because she's just too many weird number changes. Like she doesn't operate like a normal AD carry anymore. So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, I mean, and nickname in the chat again is pointing this out, like a good point. Like, you know, essentially she has a non-random crit with 10% increased damage. So, and I think this is kind of where if they took away, because you know they're always talking about should they have random RNG in the game, right? Random number generation in the game. You know, and the designers have talked about, well, if we got rid of crit, you'd have to have some way of spiking marksman damage, and I guess this is kind of what it would end up looking like. So yeah,
In before they remove crit strike. Yeah.
yeah,
No, as someone who used to jungle Tryndamere in season 2 with the Ninja Tabby dodge chance, I've lived in the
Yeah,
RNG
dodge.
days,
yeah,
I'm glad most of them are behind us.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong, I
Alright.
still love Tryndamere,
yeah.
but that's because you can get 100% crit on him. You
Yes,
know? That's not RNG anymore.
yeah. Same with Yasuo. All right. Oh, sorry. Oh, her Q. Ranger's focus. So previously it was it toggle for the slow. Now it grants applying frost strike grants focus for 4 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Activating Ranger's focus consumes all focus stacks, granting a bonus attack speed, and in boosting the slow. If she's got 5 stacks, her basic attack is replaced with a flurry of arrows, resulting in basically a big spike into her total attack damage. So this is kind of cool. This is probably the thing if you've watched a video of kind of the Ash changes. This is probably the thing you've seen more than anything, because lots of it say quite similar, but this is like pretty amazing. Essentially, she turns into a machine gun for slows and damage.
I was able to beat intermediate bots 1v5 with this and a Runan's Hurricane.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The Ruinous Hurricane makes it like crazy.
Intermediate bots, the legit strats are real.
Yeah.
Because you just walk down mid lane and you just flurry arrows at them and you'd stun them and you'd clear all the minions really fast because you need to be able to clear the minions really fast. So I got a Runans.
Yep.
That's cool. This, did you finish talking? I'm sorry.
Oh, you can go. It's fine.
Yeah, this is a cool thing. It's worth noting that the stacks themselves don't do anything until you get 5 and turn it on. That was something I was looking at because I'm like, I got these stacks, so if I consume 2, do I get more than attack speed than I would if I consume none? I wasn't quite sure, and I was like, oh, okay, no, they actually do nothing until you get 5 and activate them. And if you don't have 5, you just get the attack speed. And that completely defeats the purpose of activating it at all, I guess.
Well, it boosts the slow as well by 20%, which is, that's all right.
Yeah.
It'd be good for those 1v1 duels where you just need that little bit of extra attack speed right now. You need that little bit of slow right now.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're going to want to save it for that 5 stacks.
Yeah, and volley will get you some stacks, and because there are more volley arrows now, you can stack it pretty much straight away if you hit a bunch of minions. And it does stack faster if you have a Runans.
Yep. Yes. Well, I mean, I guess like, it's applying frost shot, so using like and like when you trigger the Q, it will also her volley would then presumably the slow is increased because it says the frost shot slow is an additional 20%. So again, if you use this and then you use volley, it's going to slow everybody in the cone by that additional 20%. So it's kind of helpful in a couple of different ways.
Oh, you can use that in a fairly effective disengage manner then.
Yeah.
And it is a very cool like high amount of damage. One thing I do like is that if you have like the damage indicators going off and everything, while you're hitting them, it'll wait till all of your because it makes your auto attacks better for a few seconds. It doesn't just like bam, there's your flurry arrows. No, you actually just shooting really fast and they're your auto attacks. It actually keeps ticking up, and so it ticks up to about like 1,000 damage or something, and it's like, yeah, I did that. I did 1,000 damage.
I mean, it's just a huge steroid. Like, so in some ways, it's a bit like a Tristana was, maybe is now, where it's really focused around her rapid shot. This for Ash, all of her stuff is focused around the use of this, and which is really cool because like previously she was just kind of mediocre DPS all the time. Like if you could get her fed, yes, she did lots of damage, but Otherwise, she just was kind of not great. Where this is, okay, you've got all of her power, all of her like team fighting power is in the use of this Q. It's 4 seconds long, and then it's got an 18-second cooldown, which is not reduced at all. Like it's, it doesn't go down as you scale it up with ranks in that stat. So essentially, it's in that window, Ashe is going to be really strong. Outside of that window, she's going to be much less so.
And one thing I like
nice.
about you bringing up Tristana, this is another champion that has a lot of range and kills towers better than Tristana.
Makes Steven happy
Dude.
when he hears that.
Oh my god. Unlike Tristana, Ashe will see more play from her changes.
Yes.
Whereas
Absolutely.
Tristana has the opposite.
Yeah. Well, that's, mind you, Tristana was OP before. Now she's not. Ashe was, well, maybe not OP, but like she was, for a while there, she was really good. And
she was,
but Ashe has never been
best
good
at one thing, and now Jinx is better.
Yeah. But for a while there,
is better. Like
yeah.
These champs are now OP in the same sense, where what they do better than anyone else, like they've taken that spot on the league, which basically means that role is less versatile in general. So like the AD carries have less to celebrate, despite this is your time to shine, just not on Tristana, So I like the fact that Ashe is getting attention because she's long needed it. And these quirky changes, they could work out to be really good. I think the itemization of Ashe is going to be really the thing that stamps either her approved or rejected letterhead at this point. Because if the Runan's Hurricane build is the most optimal for her, and that item's looking, better and better as the landscape changes, then she'll do really well with these. But if she still relies on that kind of slow solo farm mentality that she used to, then she's still gonna be, whatever, maybe next season.
If she relies on that, then she's gonna be worse off because she doesn't have gold scaling from E now.
Yeah. Well, I was reading that and just going, oh, that sucks. But then
but Hawkshot's about 500,000 million trillion times better.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
Volley. Let's talk about it.
Can I just quickly talk about the itemization thing? Like, there's lots of items that give you a little bit of crit chance. So, nickname in the chat has mentioned Everest Blade, but there's lots of items that give you a little bit of crit, and all of that's going to add to her damage. So, in some ways, her damage curve is probably going to be pretty. It's not going to spike. It's not like where you go, you're doing okay, bam, Infinity Edge, and then bam, Phantom Dancer. It's going to basically, as you build those items that build towards those things, you're sort of slowly, it'll be a bit smoother. And that's probably to her advantage. Because, it's built into a base damage as well. So it's not, and her ability. So I think that's probably something that's going to work out in her favor, as opposed to a Caitlyn who waits to hit that eye edge and then go in hard. But sorry, so you would have mentioned the volley, Vic?
Yeah, volley. Now, why am I reading the changes in volley?
So volley, it's had a 10 mana cooldown, 10 mana cost reduction. The cooldown is lower by 4 seconds at first rank, and it's unchanged at rank 5. The number of arrows is increased. The missile width has also increased, but you only can get hit once, or affected once per arrow. No matter how many arrows hit you, you're only affected once, or you take damage from the first.
Which is good if you're big fat Cho'Gath or Giant Zac or Scion, because you can just get in the way of all of them.
Yep.
One thing that really spooked me about this is they changed the indicator on it. So before it was just a big cone, same as Cassidon's thingy or Riven's ultimate.
Yeah.
Now they're arrows, a whole.
Oh, actually, arrows.
And I was like, whoa, I don't like that. Change it back. It's like when they changed. What's his name? Varus's Q from just a big circle to an arrow, and no one liked it, so they changed it back. I hope they change this back because I don't like that. It's spooky. It's spooky.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the comparative advantage that volley has now is you don't need to sort of keep a reservoir of mana to be used when you turn on your Q. So you probably be able to use your volley more often because you're just not waiting. You don't need to have that mana being drained when you auto attack.
Well, one thing I like about the new kit now is you're gonna max Q, Whereas before,
Oh yeah, for sure.
before there was like no benefit in maxing anything because
No.
volley had really crap base damage, and that's where you maxed anyway.
Yeah.
Hawk shot used to be able to max because the gold earning went up, and then they changed it to just be flat.
Yeah.
And so there was no reason to max Hawk shot anymore, and
Yeah.
Q just gave you better slows. And when you turned it on, you had no mana left.
Yeah.
So now she has a maxable ability.
Yeah. Well, she's actually got an interesting combat style as well. You know, she's actually going to be fun to play through the whole game. The her E has changed, so now the range is global, which is pretty cool. She soars up to 2 charges when upon reaching rank 2. The ammo recharge rate is pretty slow. It's pretty much ultimate kind of level duration. So a minute 30 at rank 1 and 50 seconds at rank 5. And you can't use it more than once per 5 seconds. And it no longer generates gold. So essentially she's got a better version of clairvoyance
Yes.
on
I was going to
demand.
say that. It's good because you can just shoot it through one side of the enemy jungle. All right, he's not in bot side.
Yep.
He's going to be up in top side. All right,
Yep.
be careful top. Don't be too aggressive. Or oh, he's in bottom side. Let's back off a bit. You know. So and that's how I see it being used. Which is
Yeah,
really,
no, I mean it's
really strong.
Yeah, it's great, and you know, like you think about professional games, you know, you can spot out lanes because you can shoot across the whole map. So you'd even consider taking this at level 1 so you can get that vision because teams are spending a lot of time and a lot of energy going into the lanes to scout out, you know, to put those wards between the 2 towers to spot out where people are going. So, I mean, I don't know if Ashe will become competitive, but if she is used competitively, this is a pretty good ability for them.
And I just thinking of the Ashe Brawn lane swap potential. That's a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think these are really good changes. Like, the Q change is amazing, and I mean, actually, I mean, if anybody who gets a 40% attack steroid plus a big bump to her damage, and then increases like that's just there's just so much in that Q is like nasty, and I think I think this in some ways has the potential to be. I mean, she hasn't got an escape, so that's an obvious weakness, and that would need to remain because otherwise she will be too good.
Yeah.
But
I
anybody
think
that's got like a
carries,
constant
there are a
slow,
lot of AD carries successful that don't have an escape in them. So
yeah,
like it's a problem, but it's a problem you can play around with
Yeah.
team composition.
and it's just a really, it's got a lot of potential, and just the fact that her slow is on all the time, you don't have to expend mana to do it. Like that's just great. It's a great change for her. It'll be interesting to see how that works out in the actual kind of because traditionally items that have applied slows and things like that, like something that's as reliable as that, they generally haven't really looked favorably upon because it sort of distorts the balance. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
I kind of want to see, like, in a high skill game, someone shoot off a hawk shot across the enemy jungle and see absolutely no one, and then just fire their ult towards Baron and just kill someone and steal it. I want to see that. Just like, well, if they're not in that jungle, and based on all the vision we have elsewhere, they must be there, and just shoot off an arrow and just boom! Your face!
Got him.
Yeah.
Yo face.
Speaking of enchanted crystal arrow,
Well, basically, it's got it's a nice segue. It's basically got the same slow as Frost Shot. So between I guess it's between 5 and 35%, unless
which means it's
you
been nerfed, but I think if you press Q,
you
then
press
it's
Q,
stronger.
you'd have to So that's a good point.
There's your synergy. We found it, boys.
Yep.
Woo, go.
We're done. Synergy's done. That's a good point. Yeah, so you do really need to turn on your Q before you fire your ultimate.
Well, that's if it's going to be an AoE, like, because
of course, yeah, that's a good point.
only applies to the target that isn't stunned.
Yeah.
It ties to everyone else in the area of effect.
Yeah.
And the area of effect's never been game changing. Like, it can be big in a particular team fight when they're in a bottleneck, like the entrance to Baron and such like that. But generally, you wouldn't be doing Baron if Ashe's ult's off cooldown. Anyway,
Yeah,
so.
and anyway, I mean, in the bottom lane, like you're gonna use it as an initiation to then fight in the team fight. You're gonna want to turn your Q on anyway, so it's somewhat. It doesn't really matter so much, because you're basically gonna ult and then attack them. So yeah. All right. Well, I might actually see if we can. I might try to organize somebody to play Ash, or I might play some Ash to see what it's like. Need to find somebody who's good with marksman.
I've only done 1v5 once.
Yeah.
I want to be good at marksman, but let's not talk about marksman.
Sure. All right. Let's not then. Let's talk about Akali.
That's for gameplay. Yeah.
So Akali's had some changes. The cooldown on her E has been reduced by 2 seconds at all levels. The ratio's gone up, and her Shadow Dance now dashes Akali through her target, so she must end up on the other side of her target.
That seems ridiculous to me. That seems
Yeah.
Stupid strong.
Yeah.
Stupid strong. Like the thing that is it's not really spoken about, but the thing that's like really strong about Vi's ultimate is that she ends up on the other side of him when she finishes, which is its own form of CC, being on the other side of someone, because now they have to run around you. If they flash, you're still in attack range. It doesn't matter. And
How many times have I heard you complaining about being creep blocked? Well, being fire blocked is even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you can get Akali blocked. And you know what? She can attack you and then go invisible so you can't attack back. And you're slowed. And then she can auto-attack you again.
I mean, ultimately, it just makes ultimately. See what I did there? It just makes her kind of more annoying. You know, and she chases better now.
Well, I think
yeah.
the Crescent Slash change is important because you've heard me whinge about it on Battle Arena. Like a lot of solo queuers go the what's that? Hextech Gunblade.
Yeah.
That has like some AD and some AP and some spell vamp and like it has like all of the stats that work with her passive and it's a gold efficient item. But I think with the cooldown reduction on her Crescent Slash and the ability power increase, it might make that build not always the solo queue build anymore. So, just flat P on a smaller cooldown might get you more damage earlier if that's the way you want to go.
Yeah. To sort of go into that point a little bit, it's down to 1 second at max rank, her Crescent Slash, and the passive on Gunblade is if you keep hitting them with abilities, then the cooldown of the active goes down. So now that it's on a shorter cooldown, she can keep getting that active back even quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one thing you can talk about on it.
Yeah.
And like the Crescent Slash going down to 1 second, I read that and I was like, Riot, you curse me. And then I was like, oh wait, but she's energy. She'll run out in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. It also, I mean, Lich Bane would probably... I don't know if you actually really build a Lich Bane on her, but it'd probably be worth considering just because, you're going to get it off... Well, it's got a 2 second cooldown, so essentially you can use it twice in the same space you used to use it once. Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, I don't like when Akali's popular.
No.
Makes
not
me
fun.
very upset.
Well, it's not as dangerous with so many tanks around, but still, someone in mid lane's just going to get dumpsters and snowballed against like crazy, and they're not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, even though we are in a tank meta, people are still picking dudes like Fiora and Katarina and Kha'Zix and whatever in solo queue.
LeBlanc's still being picked in professional play. Like,
yeah.
I've heard a lot of analysts basically speak down about that, but her results in lane don't lie. And this could give Akali a lot of potential. I'm a bit terrified of that change, honestly, of both the changes together. That's scary.
I would prefer they only went through with the Shadow Dance. She can still dumpster dudes even without that change, so it is kind of
I do like the hold me closer Shadow Dancer as the quote.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Skarazard writes these, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No, or Pwiff.
Pwiff or Skarazard, one of them.
All right,
Skarazard blocked me on Twitter.
I can't remember.
Let's move on to Annie. So her base attack range has gone from 625 to 575.
Wow, I can't believe Riot did that.
Well, it kind of, I mean, that was one of the things that really made support Annie kind of worth playing. And now, I don't know if that completely gets rid of support Annie, but it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to. Yeah, I just don't think it makes it anywhere near as viable in the bottom lane. Which, I mean, that might be fine. Like, it might be just one of those things that, you can't have a viable in both bot and mid without skewing it one way or the other. So, yeah.
Now she's getting the same sort of nerf that Tristana got. Like Tristana was max at level 18, 669 range, and Annie was all throughout the game 625 range. Like that's. I just want to give people the perspective there.
Yep. Hecarim. So now they've changed his Q. I came in like a hacking ball. Nice.
That's what they wrote.
Yeah. The mana cost. So now it does full damage to monsters. So his clear speed is going to be a lot quicker. But the mana cost has gone up substantially. It's gone from 20 to 32 at level 1, and then from 30. It's gone from 32 to 40 at level 5. So it's only 8.
I'm just having a flashback right now. Flashback to when they changed Hecarim's Q to be 20 mana, and they said it was for the jungle. And what was the immediate thing I said? This is not for the jungle. This is going to make top lane Hecarim awesome. So
I'm pretty sure I followed up with Hecarim's already getting played in top lane by a lot of pro players in their solo queues and dumpstering people. And they patched and he got buffed every patch, and I'm like, he's already getting a lot of play. I don't know if you should be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. So full damage to monsters. I guess. I mean, really, that's going to improve his clear speed quite substantially, because the damage is pretty considerable when you're talking about an ability that's on a 4-second cooldown.
You see, if this change had happened originally, before Cinderhulk was introduced, then he would have been played in the jungle. Like now,
alongside Vi and Hecarim.
Jarvan, alongside Vi and Jarvan.
Jarvan. Same
Yes.
dude.
Hang on. All right, we done with that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost focus for a little bit because I was looking at something else. All right. Callista now no longer gets bonus distance when dashing backwards. Thank God.
I got
Gone.
a better change in mind. Don't make her jump every fucking auto attack.
Well, that would kind of get rid of her thing.
Good. Good. It's a dumb thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, she's just one of those champions. I mean, I guess I don't see her a whole lot at the level of play I'm at, but certainly when you watch pro play and you just see that, you've got this Callista that gets away with like 20 health, and she, like they're nearly caught her, and then she hops away that one more step, and then she's gone.
I think you mean she hops that one step, presses rend, and gets a pentakill.
Well, okay, maybe that, but yeah.
Or she jumps away and you realize, oh wait, she's killing me, and then she starts jumping forward and kills you.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because I guess like so much of her power is in that mobility. So I wonder if this will allow them to buff her in other ways to improve her laning. Because I guess before she gets that hurricane, she's not that great. Yeah.
I think my approach to Callista is play Malphite. Why aren't we're buffing Malphite? Let's buff Malphite. Let's do it.
This is probably a well-deserved change. So Morgana's W has been nerfed at level, like basically at early level. So 4 damage at level 1, 3 damage level 2, so on and so forth. So basically her early, the first couple of ranks of her W have been nerfed. Pretty sensible. Like she just has such an easy time in lane, because she just sits so far back and just procs that the spell Thief's Edge or the Frost Clean's Claim or whatever whatever item she's got.
Doesn't it increase the less health the person she's hitting has?
Yeah, I think it's got missing health damage. So
because there's nothing. Cause
it doesn't mention it,
damage.
so it probably means
I don't know what this means. If that's the minimum or if that's the maximum, I'm not too sure.
Well, that would be the minimum. So, it increased by 0.05 for every 1% of the victim's missing health. So basically,
Oh, it's increased by a percentage.
yep.
So
Yes.
okay.
So overall, the damage would be reduced. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
She's
guess
still good.
she's still good. She's still got her
She's
snare is
got a
still
black
crazy. You know, Black Shield is still great because it ignores CC. It's like,
She's good in pick comps. She's good in team fights. She's got a black shield, so
Yeah.
she's
She,
good at
she
protecting
counters
us.
CC,
yeah.
unlike anyone else.
Yep.
I think we get the idea.
Yes. Nasus. So he's just had a bug fix. For,
Yay.
you know, that's
Yeah, he got bug fix.
So whenever I see these bug fixes, I'm always just like, yeah, I remember that. I thought I was just going insane. like, is that like, because that's not what it says on the skill. I must be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, feeling a little bit more well adjusted.
Nocturne. So his sticking capacity has been boosted a little bit. So his E does a bit more damage. Well, quite a bit more damage. 30 damage at level 1. Only damage and 10 damage at level 5. But basically, the allied fear, you know, if his other teammates have fear, then it's more reliable. Good. I think Nocturne could do with some nerfs, some buffs. Sorry, I'd like to see them buff his ult, but that's just me.
Well, I said a while ago that they needed to kind of rework the E for him to really become viable again. And I don't get me wrong, like 30 damage at rank 1, the increased damage is quite nice.
Which
That's
really
gonna
helps with the clear speeds, probably more than anything.
Less so his clear speeds and more his dueling potential, I think. Because you're not using unspeakable horror for the damage against the creeps. Like, sure, you probably will. Like, you'll go in, you'll either the big wraith or the big raptor and just kind of auto attack the rest down. But if you go into the enemy jungle or someone else enters your jungle, that 30 damage can make a lot more of a difference with that all going on. I still think the movement speed buff should start from when you start the tether, as well as when they're feared. Because if they're feared and you're in tethering range, you don't need the movement speed increase. But yeah, that's still my opinion. Whatever.
Yeah, that's a good complaint, I think. I think I'd like to see some modernization of his passive, and I mean more so the healing part than the AoE part, because it's kind of just like a flat heal. It's just like shing, a heal, like that was something I sort of didn't like about Renekton's heal for a long time on his Q. It was just this sort of weird flat kind of heal, and it never really felt like much. And so I'd like to see Nocturne get some changes to his heal. Otherwise, I think he's very good. I think he's very strong, and I think he murders the solo queue at the moment.
No, he's good. He is great in solo queue, and just a good solid jungler. Basically, I think right now he's pretty much my go-to jungler if I can't get Sejuani. So
Yeah, I'm probably going to start picking him up again soon. It's a good time, and I'm sort of putting it off for no reason. But do you want to talk about the bro?
yeah. Olaf. So he's again more great song puns for those about to rock. It changed his R. He now gets a 50, 60, 70% movement speed bonus towards enemies for a single second.
Whoa! I don't have to take Ghost anymore.
Well, yeah.
You
still
take
do.
Ghost. You might still take Ghost, but like there might be some games I'm like playing against Jarvan, might want to take Flash this game or something like that.
Yeah.
Like this is something I've always wanted behind Ragnarok, because Ragnarok for me was like, if I don't have Ghost, there's no real point. So
Yeah.
I'll just sort of save it. Maybe for when I'm in someone, I might need that AD or whatever, or I might need to break that Sejuani ult or whatever. But this is awesome. They put Righteous Glory in his ultimate. I love it.
Well, it'll make up for those just slightly out of range problems that he's had. Like if you pop your Ragnarok and then move in and trying to hit him with an undertow, that's his slow. Yeah. Try and hit him with the undertow, but they're just out of range, or you're moving just slowly enough that they've got a better chance to dodge. Like it's going to affect micro battles like that. So it's not going to be oh my goodness, that 1 second of movement speed was what he needed to win the game. But it might be to win individual skirmishes, and that'll add up. Yeah, that's how I view that change anyway. But whether or not like the whole taking Ghost thing makes him ridiculous because the Ragnarok duration is longer than 1 second, and that's all that the speed buff's for here. So it might still be worth it, although there might be other alternatives like heal has a movement speed buff on it.
Well, I mean, you quite feasibly take a Righteous Glory for Olaf.
Righteous Glory is perfect for that situation.
Because, I mean, he's one of those champions that has to run at the enemy. I mean, yeah, okay, he's not stopped by CC, so he's got a benefit over someone like a Darius or a Garen. But in the end, he's got to run there, and if there's plenty of mobility in the game now, so, you know, with Lucians and Callistas and all the rest of it, you know, if you're diving the back line, you need to be able to get there, and even a 1 second boost, I mean, that's I mean, heal, for example, the summoner spell heal, is incredibly useful just because it's got a move speed bonus. I think that's only a second.
Saved people numerous times, and when it was 2
Yeah.
seconds, it was overpowered.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's one of those things that, you know, the ability to initiate on an enemy, like, I mean, using things like Righteous Glory and Talisman of Ascension and you know, Sivir's ult, like, it's one of those things that, yeah, you think, oh, well, running is, you're never going to catch somebody off guard with running, but heck, even, I mean, 70% move speed bonus is huge.
That's a huge
You know,
amount.
so the ability to just go, bam, okay, we're engaging, we're now on you, you now have to deal with us. And then, you know, beyond that point, once they actually realize what's going on, you've got, you know, you've still got this guy who's can't be CC'd. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a great buff. That's the word I'm looking. You know,
buff. A word.
that's
that
it.
we don't use
A
often
word.
enough, really.
I'm so tired. I want to make a Frozen joke in you too. You know, you find out what jungling things do in summer. You guys watched Frozen? Anyway, okay.
Let it go, man.
See what you did there. Okay, Redacted. So, we have... How much time we got left? We got a couple of minutes. Hang on. Yeah, we're not going to get through all of it. Oh, we just leave it there.
There was a... Aww. Poor Renekton.
Oh, we'll get there. I mean,
Poor little crocodile that never had a chance.
that's mainly... I mean, the big change is really... Like, Trundle's got a good buff. Zed's got a huge change. They're probably the ones... And Cinderhulk is obviously being worked on. So, we'll talk about that again. Talk about that more next week. But, yeah, I think we can just call it there. Be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna
Cool.
All right, cool. Well, should let everybody know. Don't forget, Battle Arena, final Battle Arena for 3 whole months. This Thursday, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Steve, it seems like you have a shout out. Did you want to?
I do. Long-time listeners of the show and of the Trinity Force Network will remember the name Sotia. Sotia was instrumental in getting Carrot and I together and encouraging us to go ahead with the podcast in the first place, and today is his birthday, so I just wanted to say happy birthday to Sotia.
Indeed. Cool. All right. Well, that does it. Episode 87 for the... I was about to say the Trinity Force podcast. That's not us. We're the OzLoL podcast. I am so tired. I'm going to turn the stream off and then basically going to fall asleep on my keyboard. And we'll be back again.
Upload to audio.
Yeah. We'll be back again next week.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.